we want to make sure we can understand the concept around it. What we like to do is for all our program, we start with foundation. So let me apologize ahead of time. We always start with fundamental, whereby we assume nobody knows anything. Then we now get into the professional side of it. So they are very short presentation, but it will be worthwhile so that it will build up towards before we now get into the presentation and do some quick, review as we proceed also. So let's get started real quick, everybody. So we're going to start with, let's think about this together. Let's take a journey together real quick. As you can see here, protecting your digital world, right? We're looking like our kids in school. We are thinking of how would they protect their online presence, right? It's a big deal right now all over the world. So data privacy, we are saying our digital secret is like, what is my secret, my digital footprint out there? So we are thinking in terms of how do you build trust? If you're a company or an organization, one of your priorities is to make sure you can build trust. Think for 1 second. If a big bank, no name disclosed, is compromised today in North America, right? It could be in Canada, US, or Mexico. Guess what? Immediately it eats their reputation. You and I would likely not put your funds there as a preferred bank the next day because the reputation has suffered, right? So that's a big deal. The next thing we're thinking in terms is permission. Meaning, if somebody is playing with my data, holding my data, do they have the permission to share my information in simple terms? Then, personal information. Let me throw this out to you all. Everybody, let's think together. If I ask you, what are some personal information we should protect? Can we just type a few for me? Let's just throw it out there. What are some personal information you think we should protect? Let's forget anybody's, thinking. Believe it or not, like I say, a lot of these things are things we already know. I'm just calling our attention. Let's think together. Somebody says social security number, health status, bank details, financial record, PII, personal identification information, PHI, personal health information. This is so spot on because these are the things we are looking for to protect in general. So it's a big deal. You're right. 100%. Those are the kind of record we are protecting. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? If our information is compromised of our client or customer, beside the reputational damage, it automatically exposes us to legal risk, meaning class action lawsuits, individual lawsuits. And sometimes we're talking of hundreds of millions of settlements, sometimes billions of dollars of settlements. So it's a big deal. It's a very significant deal. Thank you. I think I'm recording already. Let me double check. Yes, we are recording already. Thank you for calling that out. Okay, so it's a big deal. So let's quickly look at this also. All right. When we talk about data security, let's pause. What comes to your mind? Just go ahead and type. What do you think? If I say data security, anytime I say, we've talked about privacy, you guys talked about what we should protect. I love that. When we talk about security, yes, you're right. I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking of, okay, password. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You should think of password. What else are you thinking about? Let's think together. Protecting my information, yes. Safeguarding my strong password, absolutely. Securing our confidential information, I agree. I love that somebody's getting there. Multi-factor authentication. Remember now, a lot of us we are forced to, initiate our MFA. Um, Encryption, love it. Encryption is a big one. Think about this. One of the appeal of a tool like WhatsApp is the fact that they will tell you they have end-to-end encryption. Somebody said PIN. Ashin, you guys are awesome. You guys are way above us all. Access control, love it, love it. You guys are awesome. Tosin Latifah, that's awesome. Access control, because we're thinking in terms of how do you control access. Can we all type access control if you don't mind, everybody? I love that. Masking, anonymization, passkey, data masking. Sometimes you remember when you're trying to type your social security in some website, you know what they do? Once you type, what happens? It becomes X. So it's mask it. It's a designed security control and function. Okay, so we get it. Now let's sneak another one real quick, everybody. Let's sneak in firewall. Everybody, can we say firewall? It's not fire in a wall, okay? But it's close to it. But look at it this way. We are saying it's a way to prevent unauthorized access to our network or environment. Many times, believe it or not, there are softwares also whereby we have inbounding data and outbounding data, whereby we've configured how data comes in and how data comes out of my organization. So we've kind of set it up in a way that the rules, can we all type in firewall rules? Can we say rules, everybody? I like that. Somebody said network traffic. Yeah. Can we say firewall rules? So anytime you hear the word firewall, think and say, oh, they've developed some rules in which how data comes in and how data goes out, right? That's really the core of it. So some of those rules at times, so when we do assessment around firewall, most environment, what they do is that we just check their existing rules. Some of the rules are weak, so you can easily say, hey, this rule does not make sense. They might have a reason to justify it. Some of them will use some standard rules, but many times you'll see the rules, if it makes sense or not, you can give feedback, okay? But anytime you hear the word firewall, just know in your mind, rules built into how data comes in and goes out of the organization. Okay. I like that. Somebody said establish barrier between a trusted internet network and untrusted external network. Love it. Love it. Okay, let's move on a little bit. Thank you. We're on the same page. Data governance. Don't overthink this one. Think of oversight. How do we provide oversight to data? Let's keep it at that for now. The reason is this, think about it. We said data is the new oil, right? So it means data is a commodity now that is very expensive. That's why we can use data to target certain people to make a lot of money. So it's a big deal, right? So because of that, we have to have a process to govern how data works in your environment. As simple as that, okay? Can we all type data governance real quick? Data governance, real quick, everybody. You might hear that word. Some people, that's their core specialty. One of our mentors there, Dolly P, that's all he does, really. Is a guru in data governance, really. And that's a huge space on its own, generally speaking. All right, so let's talk about our PIA. All right, you can see we are back to the PIA, right? You know, privacy impact assessment. So what we're saying is that we are looking for problems relating to privacy. Can we all type? We are checking for problems around privacy real quick. Let's go. You also, hey, that's what really that's what we're doing, really. And that's what you're going to do tonight. You're looking at an organization and you're saying, okay, wait a minute, you guys are doing whatever you're doing, you have a big company, but want to see if there are potential problems around the way you deal with privacy. That's the goal, ultimately. So in layman term, we are saying safety first. We are asking question. We have a plan. If there's a problem, we got to fix it at the end of the day. That's really what it is, really. And you'll see it in a bit once we get into it. All right. So I'll skip this one for 1 second. Then we will now get into the professional side. Remember, we always start with the foundation. So this is just foundation, for beginners, right? Privacy, like we said, keep our information private, security, lock and protect our data, governance, oversight on everything we do, assessment to constantly check if there's a problem or a gap with what we are doing. Simple, fair enough. Okay. All right. So let's now jump into the professional side of it. Okay. So remember again, we just started with the basic one to just talk about privacy generally, but now we'll now get into the professional side of it. All right. So let's quickly go through this real quick. Now, this is the deal here, right? This is a global healthcare company in this case. Let's talk about it. Think for 1 second. You know, healthcare is one of the biggest area in the world today that we have to always think around safety of our patients' information, the record. There are many regulations that made it very important and required. Top on the list, we have the EPA, right, which is the Privacy Act in the US. Then we have for our European brothers and sisters, GDPR for member states in EU. Then we have our Canadian brothers and sisters, PIPEDA, meaning it's a Canadian law around privacy also. So it's going to be haunting you wherever you do business. It's a big deal for us, right? So in this case, let's quickly give you the use case. This is an environment that they just deployed X-ray machine, CT scan, and MRI machine. And what those machine does is, of course, we all know They would scan images of people, and they would, after scanning the images of people, they will go ahead and store those information in a network, right? But let's think about it for a second. Every image that is being stored, right? Guess what? Most of them are tied to patient's information. If I scan an image, I better tie it to the patient's name, their date of birth, their medical history, and any concern so far, right? So because of that, it's a big deal. It's such a big deal, right? So that's the use case in this environment. So let's talk a little bit about it. So let's talk about the intro to privacy impact assessment in this case. One, we are thinking of an advanced technology because think about it. I don't know if you guys have seen MRI machines before, CT scan machine. Most of them are pretty sophisticated. They're expensive equipment for hospital systems. So they're advanced technologies, right? Most of them also in the recent times are deployed to the cloud. Can we all type cloud? Everybody, if you don't mind, go ahead and type cloud. Now, if you hear the word cloud for my non-IT person, don't stress it. Okay. It's not the sky that we're just looking, no big deal. It's just set of different data center all over the world that people have. The common ones out there, let me ask, what are the common cloud service providers out there? Can you guys type? Let's see. I know a lot of you know them. Okay, AWS, Amazon Web Service. Let's see some other ones you guys will tell me about. Microsoft Azure. Now, please, if you're on the call, okay, it's not Azure, okay, it's Azure. Okay, if you call it Azure, they will know that what's going on here. All right, Azure, okay. And I'm an Ibadan boy, right? If I sneeze, you know I'm from Ibadan. But so it's not Azure, it's Azure. I'll probably call it Azure too if I didn't know. So just make sure you call it Azure, Microsoft Azure, okay? Then the other one is Google Cloud. Those are big ones. There's Salesforce. There are smaller ones out there also. There's Cisco Cloud. There's Alibaba. There's so many of them out there. But let me tell you what I've seen, okay? If you're a director of infrastructure in your organization, I have a feeling you want to quickly align with the big names. You know why? If there's a potential vulnerability, maybe a system crash, there's a problem, nobody will fire you for using Google Cloud or Amazon Web Service or Microsoft Azure because they are big names. But sure as heaven and hell, they will fire you for using an unknown vendor. If an unknown vendor is, so most people just align with the big names. And I know because I've been part of those decisions myself. So we'd rather go with the big names where you know you are safe because people want to protect themselves too, right? If things don't go well, nobody's going to fire you for using Cisco, for example, because they are the biggest in the networking space then, right? So, hey, those are the sentiment around it. Okay, somebody said Microsoft recent CrowdStrike. That's another big story. Yeah, most of us have heard about that story, CrowdStrike, blue screen thing. In that case, it was not even necessarily a cyber attack. They pushed, certain their patch. Unfortunately, they were not tested well, and it caused a lot of blue screen across the industry. Some people exploited that mishap to scam people. So either way, it was bad. There's no sugarcoating it. Privacy safeguard, of course, like anything else, we want to make sure we need to always protect sensitive information and ensure compliance with your local laws or your um, national laws. Depending on the geography you find yourself, it's a big deal. Then today we'll talk about PIA implementation, which we'll do today actually. So I look out for that. So what is privacy impact assessment in general? It helps organization identify privacy risk when collecting, storing, or sharing personal data. Let's pause. Step one, you collect people's data, right? Step two, you store the data somewhere, wherever it is. Step three, how do you share my data? Don't overthink it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's pause for a second. So you go to facebook.com and they ask you to open a new page for yourself. Step one, they collect the data, which you give them the information, they collected it fair. Okay, good. Step two, the collected data is going to be stored somewhere, right? Which is fair. It's stored in a database somewhere, it's stored. That's fine. Step three, I want to know how do you share my data? Now, let me tell you, everybody, most of us know this already, I hope. When we click and check that button, you know what happens? We signed away a lot of things that we are not really, we don't think about really. You know what we signed? We signed the right for them to share our information to third-party vendors. Sometimes you suddenly see all these crazy vendors sending you messages and asking you for sales, blah blah blah. Legally, they have a right to share your information because we opted into it when we registered, right? And let's be honest, none of us sit down and say, "Oh, let me read all the fine print." What's the host? I'm not a lawyer, so mostly I just want to get my account, check family, friends, profile. I'm done, right? So I know most of us think the same way, right? So nobody sit down and say, "Oh, let me read the privacy law and all that stuff." So the point is that we sign away the right for us to actually for them to share your information. That's the truth. So anyway, that's part of it. The second thing is analyzing the data. Today, you'll see yourself analyze a lot of privacy milestone and how things are done. Then, based on your analysis, you'll find out does this make sense or not. As simple as that. Then, if there are potential gaps, let's type this real quick if you don't mind. We need to figure out a way to mitigate. Can we all type mitigate? When you hear the word mitigate, we're just saying, okay, we got to figure a way to fix it though. It's not enough to tell me there's a problem. You know, you got to tell me how do we fix it. So can we type mitigate real quick? Yes, there's a problem. No problem. Yeah, it's bad enough there's a problem. Listen, guys, ladies, telling me a problem is alone for me as a business and organization is a problem. Let's pause. Let me take it again. Telling me there's a problem in my business alone is a problem for me. It's useless information, to be honest. The value to me is okay, dude, you got a problem. This is how you fix it. As a matter of fact, many times I already know I have a problem anyway. Most people already have an inclination they have a problem. The value you and I bring is what are we going to do about it though? Yeah, it's not enough to tell me there's a problem. Okay, good deal, big deal. There's a problem. Thank you. What am I going to do about it though? That's the biggest piece of it. So, anyway, just take note of that. So, tonight you'll see how we'll use efficiency, not just to know there's a problem, but also tell us a plan to fix the problem. It's amazing you'll see tonight, okay? All right. So in our case, our use case, we're saying, why does Skillweed Global Healthcare need a privacy impact assessment? Remember again, we are checking potential gaps in the way we do privacy. That includes how do we collect data? How do we store the data? And how are we sharing the data? Can we all type this if you don't mind? Collection, storage, and sharing the data. Can we all do that real quick? If you don't mind, let's go. Collection, let's go. Collection of our data, collection first, collection, comma, then store and share data. That's what we're looking for. Let's face it. At the end of the day, oh, I like that. Somebody says CSS. You all are awesome, man. Just made it easy for himself, for ourselves. That's awesome. So, but at the end of the day, that's really the core of it. How do we collect the data? How do we store it? How do we share the data? Those are the core of it. Every one of those key areas, I need to figure out how my organization is handling it. That's the key. It's not enough to just collect people's data or store the data. Let's pause for a second. Let's even forget we are talking cyber. I can ask you today, and I bet most of us will give me an answer. I would ask you, okay, let's forget we're even talking. Let's just brainstorm. Okay, if I ask you now, many of these things we already know. I'm just calling your attention. Let's pause. If I ask you today and say, when I'm collecting data from a customer, tell me some safeguard I can implement when collecting data. Tell me, let's talk about collection alone. You want to collect data that is sensitive? Tell me something we can do to make sure we are doing our due diligence. I love that somebody said we should test. Okay, why should we test it? We should encrypt. Okay, when we are collecting the data, okay, we should encrypt it. So if I'm collecting data from you, maybe it's an email, I should encrypt it. Encryption is just saying the text data should be in a way that it cannot be stolen, you know? So yeah, okay, that's easy. I would agree with that. We want to make sure the system is secure. When I'm collecting is encrypted, mask it, masking the data so that nobody can just see it. I love that. You see, collect minimally. I love it. Oh man, you all are You guys are cyber people already, really. Classify, enforce CIA. Collect only what is necessary. Love it in Nkechi. That is amazing. Only collect what is necessary. Encoding, not on public network. We can close shop, guys, ladies. You guys are, I mean, honestly, and I mean it, folks. Sometimes we underestimate your knowledge. This is it. This is, don't take my word. Go to ChatGPT. Everything you guys wrote here is what is actually the answer, really. So that is so true. Now let's take it a step further. What about if I'm storing the data? What should I do? You've said some of it already. So the first thing I said is when we collect data, what should we do? Now you guys have said a lot of stuff. What about when I'm storing it? I love it. Encryption, classification, encryption, security. Love it. Access control, multi-factor authentication. Perfect. Now the last one. What about if I'm sharing your data? What should I also think about? If I'm sharing a customer's data over a safe network, very important. Access control, encryption in data, and oh, oh my God, this is awesome. I mean, that's it, really. That's really it. That's what you guys have typed everything, really. That's a secure network, data minimization, toasting, Jane, end-to-end encryption, as in access control, need to know encryption, follow GDPR in EU. That's the reality. That's the core of it at the end of the day. Thank you so much, folks. You guys are awesome. Okay, let's go to the second one here. Protection of patient data. In this case, for us, it's a healthcare system. So we need to protect the patient's information. That's a big deal, right? Then the third one, think for a second. Many times we use third-party vendor for some of our transactions. A good example is our payment gateway. A lot of us use Stripe, PayPal. Do you know how they do business in Stripe and PayPal? Possibly no. However, let me just sneak in something. Don't take it as a big deal. It's not part of tonight's program, but let me just sneak it in. Can we all put in SOC 2 type 2 report? Everybody just type it for knowledge sake, just a SOC 2 type 2, and I'll talk about it real quick. It's just a report that a lot of organizations would do independently and provide it to their customers to say, we've independently tested our environment and we are good. So think about a company like Fidelity Investment. They invest for and do 401k for thousands of companies. Imagine those thousands of companies coming to exactly ADP is another one, coming to audit them to check what they are doing. That would be a nightmare. They'll probably not be doing work. So they say, okay, you know what? Instead of having all these thousands of companies, we'll bring some of the big guys, KPMG, Deloitte, Ernst& Young, KPM, PwC, auditors independently show the report. We give it to everybody that comes to say, how is our security? And that makes it easy for everybody, right? So that's a common thing out there. But just take note of that with third party vendor risk. Transparency and trust. The beautiful thing about conducting a PIA is that it builds trust in relationships. So most organizations would feel much more comfortable dealing with you. As simple as that, really. Because I know that, okay, you considered privacy in your environment and you actually did it, which we're going to do tonight. You did a PIA, which is amazing. So it makes me feel very comfortable with you as a business also. Okay, all right. I like that. Somebody said quick who said mistrust kills business. Yes. If you yeah, let me just sneak that in. Good information. Take it for what is what. For anyone in business, your bedrock and foundation is trust. If it is gone, you have no business actually. It's a transaction. You can't have a business without the trust foundation. It will never work. So that's the reality. Somebody said privacy by design, amazing, brilliant thinking. Can we all do me a favor? Can we all type privacy by design? I need to talk about that for 1 second. Everybody, real quick, just type privacy by design. Everybody, privacy by design. If you don't mind, everybody, just quickly type that for me, please. Privacy by design. Let's talk about that real quick. Privacy by design. And I'll tell you why it's important. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, let's face it, if you don't build design or privacy in your business from the onset, then it's a disaster waiting to happen. It has to be part of the design. So it means if I bring in a third party, if I'm bringing in a new solution to my company, if I'm hiring people, every part of my process, I've baked in privacy. Everything. It does not matter. If I'm onboarding you, I've integrated privacy. So it's not really a standalone. It's part of the design of your organization. The same thing, security. So you might tell the word security as a design or privacy as a design. It simply means we've considered it into every piece of what we do. It's a big deal. Okay. All right. Cool. 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 I like that. Okay. I like that. Somebody said even in application, developers must build it in their design. I agree 100% for that. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next one real quick. So you can see the steps involved in a PIA. Generally, we initiate the PIA process. We do what we call data mapping. Okay. We see what kind of data is actually collected, stored, used, or shared. We check the risk in privacy in general. Then we want to assess the key privacy controls out there. Then, once we identify the risk, the controls, we look for the potential gap and say, how do we mitigate those gaps? Tonight, you guys would work on that. Then we document, you're going to develop a report. Don't worry, in a few minutes, you'll be surprised what you guys would do. Then you put updates, which we're going to do. We've made our life easy. What are the benefits of conducting a PIA? We can agree, makes us in compliance, improve our security posture, we can mitigate our risk, and it increased the trust factor for your business as a whole. In conclusion, we have to be proactive tonight. You'll see us get proactive in the process. Then we do regulatory alignment, then we enhance protection. And that's really the gist in terms of privacy impact assessment. So there are two things we're going to do tonight. Okay. The first one is we would work on a use case. The use case is just saying, okay, at the end of the day, all right, let's quickly think and say, what are the potential, you know, areas we should start thinking about in terms of privacy. Then after that, we will now get into an actual assessment, which we're going to work on as a team. Okay. So let me quickly share with you all the use case, and you guys will still, you're going to work in your team on the use case. You're also going to work in your team on the actual assessment. Once you're done with the assessment, you're going to work on a report. And don't worry, the report part is we're going to automate it. It's quite easy. So I'm not going to worry too much about that at all. So let me quickly show you guys what I need us to quickly work on. Then after that, you'll notice I'm going to share it with you in your in the group. So you'll notice in the group, I'll share some information with you all, and we can just have fun with the knowledge base from there. Let's quickly get to privacy use case now. Let's go. When you notice, I'm going to share this with us, but let me just share with you guys. We work on it together first, then I'll put it in our groups, then we divide and do our working session. So don't stress it at all. All right. So let me show you guys what this use case looks like. Okay. Conducting a privacy impact assessment for Skillweed Global Healthcare. Let's talk about it real quick. So here's the story, guys. Skillweed, a healthcare system, hospital system, they are bringing you MRI, CT scan, X-ray machine. They have volumes of sensitive information of our patient. Easy. All right. Because of that, we need to check and do a privacy impact assessment to ensure we are in compliance with HIPAA because it has privacy regulation around HIPAA, right? So the objective is okay. Now, based on that, we need to initiate a privacy impact assessment. We do data mapping and collection. We identify the risk itself, and every one of these steps are there. In this case, we said one of the risks is unauthorized access to patient data, which we can agree. That is a risk in any environment. The second one is that what about if somebody breach the cloud where we store our data? What about if we are in non-compliance with HIPAA? We could be fined. Then what about if there was insufficient data encryption. That's a big risk in general, right? So we did some evaluation in this case. We assessed whether the third-party cloud uses the best encryption method, AES 256. Like you all said earlier on, you notice you guys talk about access control. We checked if they have access control in place. We checked if the vendor was in compliance with SOC 2. You see that with, that SOC 2 is showing up again, right? We also checked to see if there was an incident response. Don't overthink that. All I'm saying is that if there's an incident, do you have a plan to respond? That's it. As simple as that. Then, having identified all of these problems, what is the mitigation of this risk we know? We've already said there's encryption risk, right? There is access control risk. There is third party risk, right? So we're just saying, tell me ways we can reduce our exposure to this risk. That's all. Okay. So you go through it. Then at the end of the day, I just want you to answer one question. That's all. You've been asked to select the top two benefits of conducting a privacy impact assessment for the hospital. Which two would you select and why? Now, ladies and gentlemen, look at the benefits here. You can tell me your top two and why. Why did you select them as a benefit? That's the first assignment. Easy. If this makes sense, give me thumbs up. I'm just telling you, look at the use case, then come back and tell me what would be the benefit of conducting privacy impact assessment and which two of these benefits would you choose and why? I know there are many benefits. I get it. I'm just saying you are in leadership and they ask you, what will be your top two? Because don't forget, remember everybody, let's pause for a second. No company, including Apple and Google, has unlimited resources. Even government, including our nation, right? United States, right? Nobody has unlimited resources, right? Let's face it. So it means at some point, you as a leader would have to make a judgment call. So today you are making a call and I'm asking you, tell me two benefits of conducting a privacy impact assessment and which two would you select and why? I'll tell you for me personally, right? First thing in my mind, I have to think about regulatory compliance, right? In my mind, because I'm thinking if I escape everybody, I can't escape the government. Let's face it, right? So they are like mini God, right? So, so in my mind, I'm thinking, hey, look, guys, we can play games with everybody, not the government, because they'll come after you big time. The European Union don't play games. The US government don't play games. The Canadian government don't play games. State level attorney don't play games. They will come for you. They'll find you. If it's criminal, they might even send people to jail. So it's a big deal. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, so that's a hint. For you, you might tell me that's not your preference, and that's okay. If you can defend it and justify it, somebody else might tell me, well, I'm more focused on patient trust. All right. But if your patient trusts you, but the regulators have fined you and you're no longer in business, then that's a different conversation, right? So those are the ways you get to think about it. So I'm forcing you to think. It's critical thinking now. You make a decision and say, you are the one making this call. What will be your top two? So I'll let you discuss as a team. That's the first assignment. The second assignment, okay, and let me tell you this, let me warn everybody on this call. Oh, I like this. Somebody said one and two. Oh, you guys are awesome. Okay, you know what? We can even do it together. This will be a good one. Okay, if you guys don't mind, type your first, let's take it there are four here. What will be your order of preference? Let's go ahead and type. Let's everybody just type. Tell me what you guys think. Please go ahead and type it. Your top yeah, let's see. Katie, you're playing a trick on us. She said one, two, three, and four. Uh, that's a smart one. Okay, let's see what everybody's thinking. One and four. Let's see. Okay, tell me why you chose one and four. If you don't mind some of my one and fours, let me see your thinking. Why do you choose one and four? Because I'm sure you have your reason. And again, it doesn't mean I'm right. I'm just saying I'm giving you my own rationale, right? So I want you to give me your own thought process. Your thought process might be better than mine, and you might tell me, you know what? And honestly, it might make sense. And say, oh, okay, I didn't think it from that angle. So let me see your thought process. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, somebody said hospital handle sensitive information and must adapt to stringent blah, 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 blah. I like that, Okafo. API, PI, identify gap in current data protection, blah, blah. By proactively addressing regulatory requirement, hospital avoid potential legal penalty, fines, and repetition harm from non-compliance or breaches. Okay, I love that too. Okay, somebody said compliance and patient trust. That's fair. Compliance is core. Okay, I agree. Um, I must comply to all regulatory bodies. That's a good point. Let's say another one. If there's no customer, there's no business. You know what? That's fair too. Okay, I think, you know, I can, I can take that actually. Tanto make a good point. Say, hey, if there's no customer, there's no business. It's hard to argue with that actually. Because really it's, yeah, I think I'm convinced on that comment. If there's no customer, then what the heck are we doing? There's no business really. Okay, fair point. All right, so I think you got me there. All right, let's see. Okay, as always, you cannot escape regulators, so definitely regulators. Then patient trust, those are big deal. So and this is the story, ladies and gentlemen. This is the reality on ground. This is where people find themselves. We find ourselves in a little binder because one thing you want to do the right thing, but at the same time, it's kind of tricky though because you're thinking of, all right, how do you get out of this? Because there's one part of the regulators, there's one part of customer trust, there's one part of security, there's vendor. So there's so much. Now, as a leader, you have to make judgment call. The key is the reasonableness. Like one of our team now, she just or he said, hey, if there's no customer, there's no business. That's a fair point too, because yeah, so we got to balance it, right? So I mean, let's see another one here. Let's some other comment. Two benefits, regulatory and enhanced security. Fair point. I mean, the key is as long as you can defend it and tell me your rationale behind it. But honestly, most of you, your rationale makes sense. Even my thinking is messed up now because now I'm thinking, you have a point. The key is the reasonableness. For sure, I'll probably not compromise with the regulatory part of it because I know if the regulatory it will disappear, make your company disappear anyway. So we are going to be in trouble either way because how do you survive those fines? So there will be no business again. And at the other hand, if there's no customer, there's no business. So it's kind of tricky. Then if there's no security, there's no business. But you got to choose two though. So now that's where reality comes in. Critical thinking, justified. It doesn't mean we're going to ignore everything else, but we're going to say because of our budget, these are the two key priorities. That's where we want to think about it. Okay. All right, let's say another one, regulatory compliance and all that benefits. Let's see how do you patient trust you without data being secured. Shola just brought another big one. I would treat fair point. And that's the power of discussion like this because honestly, there are many things you will probably not think about, but that's a fair point. My patient would trust me if that data is not secured. So yeah, that's a big one. So we get to these are the reality of it. At the end of the day, is the ability to sell and tell me your thought process around it, and people want to see the value because that's what you as a leader would decide based on your budget. You're not ignoring everything else, but in terms of priority, maybe the first two is going to be your priority or the top three, and tell me the why. Okay, I'll let you go figure that out. I can't help you there because my head would explode right now. It's a lot of thinking, really. So that's the critical thinking part of it. Even I am thinking, oh my God. Uh, Oh, Lord have mercy. But this is the reality, folks. We deal with this every day. We got to think of which of the which of them is a lesser evil for you immediately. Um, yeah, that's it's thinking. But this is it. This is critical thinking. You got to think through it and say, okay, which one can I deal with now? Do I have the budget? You don't have unlimited budgets. Remember that, right? So we got to figure out which one can we invest in now, then take care of the other ones over time. Okay, good job, guys, ladies. This is awesome, man. Even you got me messed up right now in my thinking that okay, these guys are they're making sense though. So, but I can't deny your reasoning around it because it makes sense. So that's the reality of it. Okay, cool. All right, let's go to the second part of it. And I'm going to share this document. You guys just knock yourself out and you can submit the assignment in the portal. My team will review it. Also, it's there just to kind of force you to think. But please do it. It's going to be good exercise to force you to think also. Now, let's talk about the meat of it now. At the end of the day, there's one big one we're going to get into right now. And I'll send these two documents to the group in a bit. But let's start with this one. All right, we're going to do data privacy impact assessment. Let me quickly share with you. Now, let me tell you guys, for some of you that are part of our program in the past, you would know this already. If you've never been part of our program, don't stress, it's not a big deal. We use different templates for assessment in our community. Our templates are very robust. And somebody asks, okay, how do we get a lot of templates? My old world, I was in leadership in some of these big consulting firms, so I know what we do, the assessment. Internally we built a similar thing and that's what we use and it's amazing. It's been life changing. Some of our folks working, they use it for their clients, they use so whatever, it doesn't matter, I'll share with you guys. Use it as a way you can also build your capacity, learn a lot and do great things yourself. But let me show you guys. So what we do is this: before we get into it, we do assessment. When you do an assessment, do overthink. Let me make you think a little bit for me, if you don't mind. If you go to, if I ask you on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 means it's horrible, it's not existing. 2 means, yeah, you're doing baseline. 3 means, yeah, where we are expecting you. 4 means a little bit extraordinary. 5 means you're just crazily good, right? Easy. We can all relate with that. It's the same concept. We have a scale we use called CMMI model. Can we all type CMMI real quick? CMMI, if you don't mind, CMMI model. Real quick, CMMI model, if you don't mind. It's a popular one out there, mostly used for process improvement for different organizations. For us, we also use C2M2, which is for cybersecurity, but CMMI is pretty good. It's scale of 1 to 5. 1 is just the lowest we can give. It means you are doing nothing, it's bad. That's all. 2, baseline, not really what we expect. You're not doing the best you can do. 3, you are doing the baseline, what we should, what you should be doing. You know, you are monitoring your network baseline. That's what we expect you to be doing. That's it. Then 4, 5, let me be full disclosure. For you to get 4 and 5, I need to feel confident I can justify it, right? Because I'm putting my name on it. 4 means you're above and beyond. You're doing some extra things, extra monitoring, extra oversight. Then I feel good. Okay, that makes sense. 5 means now, I know some of you ask me, can you get someone to 5? Yes, we can. But be very, don't be generous with 5. Never be. Because 5 is a setup. For me to give you 5, I will know you are really monitoring that particular thing. It's really good. You fine tune the process. So that is amazing. So be careful with that part, okay? I'm not saying occasionally people cannot get 5, but your name is on it, right? So think and say, can I justify it? That's my own angle. So I'm a little bit more conservative. I'm nicer with 3 than maybe 2. When people do maturity, if it's a new company, let me tell you guys ahead of time. If it's a company that's never done privacy impact assessment, naturally, let's be honest, their first one will be bad. Maybe they might be 1 point out of 5, right? They might score aggregate of 1.3, and that's okay. Before I go to a client site, I'll tell you ahead of time, this is what you should expect because this is the historic trend because we've never really given it a thought before. So it's okay. However, by my second year, I expect you to get to 2.3, 2.4, which is pretty awesome, really. Don't That's a big deal, right? Because on the aggregate, multiple process, getting it to 2.4, that's almost like 100%. That is amazing. By your fourth year, third, fourth year, if we can get you to 3.5, we are successful. That's awesome. Okay. So don't those numbers are not charitable numbers like that because we're talking about processes being improved. And sometimes it takes time to build and improve processes. Don't forget, right? Because sometimes it's like a full department, sometimes it's a multinational company. So it takes a while to just, for small company that there are just 20 people, okay, you can figure stuff out quickly. But for big company, it takes a while to get culturally to embrace it. Okay. All right, let's quickly jump into it. So at least we get the whole maturity thing. Okay. So we're gonna do like 3 together. Then you guys will get my gist. Now, you will notice there are questions asked. These are the questions asked. When we do an assessment, we ask questions, right? The leadership will give you responses. In this case, it will be the appropriate stakeholders. They will give you a response. If you look here, you will see here, for example, data collection. This is the key process here, right? Data collection. How do they collect data? data minimization, right? Consent management. So we're asking them questions. Look at the response here. So let's use this first one. All right, let me just remove bias and just make it zero, for example. So I asked them in this case, right? You can ignore the testing step. We kept all this there in case live happens and you have to figure this out and test. So you can use this guide also. But let's take the first one. I asked them what type of personal data are collected and for what purposes. This is to make me know how do they collect data in their organization. Look at what they told me. Personal data types and purposes of collection are well documented and transparent to individuals. I think that's baseline. That's like you guys are doing what you should be doing. So let's just go for three. That's my thinking. Now, one thing you'll notice is this. If you go to the next tab, domain key, you will see that this screen is automatically scoring whatever I put there. It will score it here. You can see here, it's scoring it. So don't worry, once you fill it up, it will automatically score it. Then you see the way we do report here. So let's go to the second one. The second question I asked was, are data collection practices aligned with the principle of data minimization? They said data collection practices are strictly aligned with the principle of minimization, minimizing the collection of unnecessary data. That sounds like baseline to me. Okay, that's pretty good. I give them three. Now, don't get mad. Some environments are more matured and better than others. If the environment is good, it's not a bad thing. Okay, because sometimes it simply means it's probably a matured environment. They've probably done this assessment once or twice before, so they are matured. So it's not a bad thing, okay? If it's the first time they're doing it, then I expect them to be very bad, okay? So don't worry about it. Just keep the process going. Then after that, you'll notice again, consent management, let's do this three. Then after this, I'll send you guys the rest to work on. When I put you in a group, ladies and gentlemen, please take note of this real quick. You will hear a silence for like maybe 5 seconds. Then you see yourself in a group. Everybody, we are leaders. Can we all type this? Don't get mad at me, but we got to do this, man. Can we all type I'm a leader real quick, everybody? Can we just type it? I'm a leader. If you don't mind, can we go? Just go ahead. You got to speak things to yourself, man. Why not? There's nothing stopping anybody on this call from being a top global leader. Nothing. I tell you. If you've never been told that, I guarantee you, you can be anything your mind wants you to be. Go for it. There's no big deal. And in case you don't know, the world has reset. The big challenge I would have said a lot of us have in terms of being a leader in the past was documentation, reporting, using technical language in business terms. That is reset. Every one of us can put stuff in ChatGPT now and say, okay, put it in business language and just defend it. There's no excuse again. Really, I mean it, guys. For most of us, I don't know about your story. At certain age, you realize this is it. This is the shot for most of us, really. Why do you? It's not like this is it. It's not like we have a lot of uh, shot to play again. Go for it. If that's your belief, do it. Don't second guess yourself. Don't waste your time on negative belief. So go for it. Don't even think about it. If that's your belief, just go for it. Okay. And if you have questions, just go ahead and type it. Okay. So let's see another one here, real quick. Consent management. After this, I'll make us work on our group. This is another question. How is consent obtained from individuals for collection and processing of their personal data? They said consent is obtained through clear and explicit mechanism, ensuring individuals understand how their data will be used. Okay, all right. I may go through here again. Now, don't worry, don't feel bad that, okay, this is a pretty decent, stable environment. It's okay. Don't overthink it. Okay, that's fine. Then that's the first part of it. Then the next thing we're going to do after we do this is whatever your score is here, you guys will notice here, I'll send you all a prompt to use in ChatGPT, and you will just copy this place here, and it will come up with a plan for us to mitigate it. Let me show you what I mean. So, and if you guys notice, if you've logged onto the system, it's already there. But let me show you guys what that looks like. So you guys can see. All right, let me show you guys real quick. Let me ask again, if you don't mind, if you've ever used ChatGPT, please give me a thumbs up. And if you've never used it, don't freak out. Although I would ask you which part, which universe have you been living? But don't worry. It's a teachable skill. There's nothing there, okay? I'll still ask you which universe were you have you been living, okay? But please, I beg you, quickly learn it. If you want to make yourself a giant, go to our website, go to we have a program 30 30 30. It's a amazing program. So all you need to do is you copy this thing, copy that information from your the tab, the second tab, and just change the number, whatever your number is. Maybe your aggregate was three, whatever the number was, and just click. And I'll send it to the group, so don't worry, okay? And this will generate a report. Now, let me tell you the cool thing about this. We develop it in a way that it will come up with your action plan, what you should prioritize in terms of fixing. It's brilliant, really, really amazing. Make sure you do it, everybody. Like I said, the biggest challenge in the past was people being scared of business language. We've mitigated that problem right now. So look at what's going to come up. Ladies and gentlemen, it's still working. But you see the report, it will be crazy. You'll be surprised. Oh my God, really? I have a report that is summarized already for me. Yes. Now it's the first draft, right? When you're in your organization, you can always customize it to reflect the organization language. So if I have a report already approved by my leadership, I'll just ask them, give me a copy of it, and I'll just use that report to show. Now, let me show you guys. You just click on download this report, and let me show you guys what the report looks like. Let me open it again. Let me share my screen. It's very straightforward, guys. So let me show you guys what the report looks like. Let's see. It's still opening. All right, I think it's opened already. All right, it just opened. Let me share with you guys what it looks like. Believe it or not, you'll be surprised. Some of us have never been part of our program. You'll see it right now. So see what I just developed right now, ladies and gentlemen. I just did it right now. Now, of course, it's the first draft. But you know what? Let me tell you this truth, folks. This is what AI just did right now in 1 minute. For those of us in consulting world many years, I'll tell you one thing. Many times it takes us easily a week to come up and develop your report. 1 week. If I have something to give me my first draft without headache like this in the past, shoo, it has made your life really efficient. That's the whole idea about it. But look at it. This is my first draft. So you guys are going to come up with, look at the sweet part. This is the one I love. I love this so crazy. It also told me for the issues identified from your assessment, it gave me an idea of the level of difficulty, the priority in terms of short term, and the mitigation step to fix it. You just made my life boom, bingo. So make sure you also practice this in your group in a bit, okay? And let me pause. If you have questions, don't worry. I'll send. You know what? I'm going to give me. Let's take our first. We'll take a first 2 minutes break, 5 minutes break. Then I'll bring us back. By then, I would have sent you all. You know what? Can we just wait 1 second? Let me just quickly send it to you all. And once you get it, just give me thumbs up. If you are not in our WhatsApp group, I'll probably not be able to send that to you. But if you're in our WhatsApp group, you would have access to all of this information. Let me send the prompt to the group real quick. Let me see. Please do me a favor. It helps a lot. Once you get the prompt I sent to you or any message I just sent right now, just do me a favor and give me thumbs up just to acknowledge you got it. That will help me to know that it went through because sometimes my system would not send and I'll think it's been sent. So let me quickly send this to you. If you got this, just please just kindly give me thumbs up real quick. I'm just sending it right now. Some people just try to join. Remember again, ladies and gentlemen, we never call you for a meeting ID. Beware of malicious actors out there. We are cyber folks. Don't fall for stuff like that. Okay, I just sent you guys the first one. And I'm also going to send you guys the documentation. Please do me a favor again, just kindly acknowledge it. I'm going to send that to you all right now again. Just kindly acknowledge it. If you have, if you can see it on the, here we go. I send the second document. Just kindly just acknowledge it so I know we're good here. So I send the second document. The third one I'm going to send is the use case document. That is for personal. Do that for your personal stuff, okay? Not necessarily for tonight. All right, I'm going to send that to you also. So the one you should focus on, please, everybody, just focus on, strictly focus only on the um, Excel document. The use case is just for your reference. Don't do that yet. That's for personal use later, okay? Please make sure you just focus on the Excel documentation. And if this is clear, give me thumbs up, please. Okay, so I think most of us got it. I'll send it to other groups right now too. Uh, are we in the same group as we are? Not the same group. So now I'm going to put you guys in a different group right now, and please just work there now. We have about maybe about 15 groups, and I will give you option. You can join any group you want to. Um, so please just you know once you get to that group, immediately just start working, start sharing. I've given you guys access to share and just work on it together. And I'll bring us back in the next 30 minutes, but please be very engaged. I'll send it to the larger group right now also. Okay, are we good? Let me open the group right now. All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you all for joining. Okay, so here's the deal, folks. You know, I know for some of you, it's the first time you're kind of playing around this assessment, doing different things. I want us to take it a little bit further today. If anyone wants to volunteer and tell me, okay, you want to show us what your report looks like, feel free to just raise your hand. Let's take one or two people to just quickly volunteer, show us their reports, what it looks like. Anybody that wants to volunteer real quick? Don't worry, I'll still put in your group back for one more exercise. Room 7, okay. Room 7, whoever is volunteering, just do me a favor, raise your hands and just let me unmute you. Then you can share your screen. Anyone can just go ahead and volunteer, please. Just raise your hand and I'll ask you to volunteer and just show us what you saw and let's see together. And believe it or not, these are the key things people do when we do privacy impact assessment. Anyone volunteering, just raise your hands. I'll see it. All right, Chris. Chris, can you raise your hand? Somebody volunteered you. Mark. Okay, Mark is volunteering. Can you just raise your hand and I'll see you? If you don't raise your hand, I won't see you, please. Just raise your hands and I'll just see you. Just go down. All right, excellent, Tony. All right, Tony, your show. Go ahead and show your screen and present. Thank you, Tony. I just unmuted you. Oh, Teddy also. Awesome. Teddy, brother. Oh, that's my brother there, man. Okay, let's start with Mark, Tony, then Teddy will take it from there. Go ahead, Tony. Awesome.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Thank you for this opportunity. So our group, we run through the impact
Assessment.
assessment questions,
Yeah.
and we check with their responses. For the first one, we give a value of 3.
Okay.
Do you need me to run through reasons very quickly?
No, that's okay. Can I
Yeah.
see your report? That's where I want to see your report.
So for the domain key area, this is what it
Okay,
looks
nice.
like.
Perfect. So you had an average of
Average of
3.09. Okay.
3.09%.
Okay, great. Let me see your Word document. Did you have time to do the Word document?
So that is actually with a different another group member. I don't know if she's.
Okay. Yeah, you can call the person. Let's put on the spotlight. Who is the person? Do you remember their name?
Oh, I don't know, but I know she knows she worked with me.
Okay.
If you have the
Oh,
document,
somebody said
please.
screen is not sharing. Oh, okay. Let me
Oh, I
see.
need to get out of sharing before she can.
Okay, stop sharing, then let us share.
Uh,
Thank you. Oh, I see.
share.
Sorry, everybody. Hey, brother, please go back and reshare. Okay, I apologize. I think you were sharing, but only me could see your screen. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Okay, what about now? Can you all see this screen?
I'm sharing now.
Okay, yes. Okay, everybody can see it now. So go ahead, brother. Sorry, folks. That was my fault. Okay, go ahead and just, okay, this is what is shared earlier on. It showed us the aggregate. They had aggregate of 3.09. Then it jumped to the Word document. Go to the Word document, Tony.
Yeah, so the other group member have the Word document,
Okay,
and
all right.
I'll be happy if she's
Excellent.
available
You
to.
can stop sharing and let us share. Thank you so much, Tony. Very well done, sir. Okay, please, sister, go ahead and share. Whoever was sharing earlier on. Okay, Tokwe. Okay, thank you, Tokwe. Okay, let me unmute you, Tokwe. Go ahead. I unmuted you now.
So, um,
Yeah,
no, um, I think, yeah. So
I love it. Okay,
the
yeah.
executive summary and the findings,
Okay.
3.09, adequate processes, we have all of that. I think the
Okay,
only
pause.
place to
Do
score
me a
them
favor. Let
to.
me see. I want to
Okay,
see
okay.
what you saw in your observation. Let's see one of them. Just give us randomly the data collection and use. Tell us a bit about that one.
Data collection.
Yeah, the third one.
Okay. Policies align with compliance, but
Yeah,
user consent tracking could
would
improve.
improve. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay, let me
trying
go
to
down a little bit
remember
now.
what we had done there.
Okay,
Um,
got it. Now let's
yeah,
scroll down a little bit.
yeah.
Keep going. All right. I can see privacy training and awareness training program exists, but require periodic updates to address evolving standard. That's a good one. Scroll down a little
Yes.
bit also. Okay, excellent. All right, now let's pause here. Mitigation and action plan. Everybody on this call, this is actually the most important thing your leadership will likely care about because you found out the issue, which is what you listed up there. This is where you're now saying, how do we fix it? Then, more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, you're telling them the risk and the level of difficulty to implement it, then the priority level. This is crazy because what you did is you've made their decisioning much more easy. I'll tell you one thing, 70% of the time or more, they would reason with your recommendation because people, especially in leadership, genuinely need help. They want someone to give them some initial assessment or thought process. So if you give them that, you've actually helped them to make good decisioning. So it's a good thing. So very well done. Thank you. Good. Let me see the last part. Let me see it.
Okay.
Let's go back. Data minimization. So let me ask you, if I were to ask you now, sis, which one would you, which would be your top two to do if you were to be in a position? Which one would be your first two to prioritize?
For them, I think the place we had issue was the impact and I think the
Okay.
training.
Do me a
Yeah.
favor. Scroll up. Let's go back up. I want to see something.
Mm.
Yeah, stop.
Impact assessment.
No, no, sorry. No, go down again. Go down.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
let's stop here. So, for example, this goes to everybody. Think about this, for example. If I have one that is high risk and the level of difficulty to execute it is low and the priority is high, naturally that would attract me because I'm looking and saying, oh, okay, the risk is high, but to fix it is low. So let's find if
Mm-hmm.
there's anyone in that category. Let's say anyone that has risk high, if there's anything high risk. Okay, probably no high risk. Okay, that's fine.
No high
We
risk.
have medium, then low. Let's see the one that has medium and low. Let me see.
Yeah.
Medium and low, meaning we can
That's
quickly fix it. Now, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, remember this, and I'm sure you and I will do the same thing. If you're in leadership, you're probably looking at the one you can quickly fix. You know why? So that in your next quarterly or monthly meeting with your board or your top leadership, you can tell them, out of 10 issues, we fix three at least. It saves the face and it makes you quickly fix low hanging fruit, right? Things we can quickly fix it and just we are done with it, right? So this is a way to think about it. But thank you so much, Tokwe. This is good. All right, let's take somebody else. Thank you, Tokwe. Very well done. Thank you, ma'am. Let's take Gopal. Gopal, go ahead and just share your screen and let's see what you got. Go ahead, Gopal. Krishna, go ahead.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yeah, I'm just going to open the report.
Sure. And feel free, you can go ahead and share also.
Yeah, I'm going to share. Sorry.
No problem. Great job, Tokwe. And Tony, very well done. Teddy, I'll bring you after Krishna is done. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Is
Okay.
it shared? Is it visible?
Yes. Yes. Let me double check. If everybody else can see it, do me a favor, just give me a thumbs up to make sure you all can see Krishna's screen. Can you all see screen? Yeah, I think we can all see it. Go ahead and present. Go ahead, Krishna.
Yeah, so here is the executive summary. I actually went ahead with the similar score, what's been already there.
Okay.
And based on that, I have mentioned the executive summary, where I
Yeah.
have highlighted the strengths and significant gaps, and
Yeah.
then also have captured that in the visual format.
Love it. Okay, this is good. And I'll challenge everybody. This is one thing you can always sneak in. Try and put some graphs a little bit. And it's always, kind of, it's optics, but it works. People like stuff like that. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, and risks are also like how many high, medium level of risks are there.
Yeah.
right? The highest risk is one, and the high risk and also medium risk, how many are there? And then the summary of findings.
Yeah. Lovely.
Okay, and here I think I have a comment. Summary of findings. The previous document was, I think, slightly better. I like that more than this, where here I have put the key strengths and the weaknesses, but earlier screen, I think that was better than this.
Yeah. And it's preference. It's okay. I mean, the reality is that we can always customize, take from everybody's strength, and for the group leaders, you can share with me your document and I'll send to the big community, so that's fine. But this is good. All right, go to the next one. Let me see your mitigation and action plan. Let's pause there, please. Can you pause here? Thank you. High risk. Oh, okay. Okay, let me ask everybody. If you see a risk that is critical, let me shut up. If you look at this, for example, everybody, which one will be the first one you want to fix? Let me start with Krishna, then everybody else. Give me your comments. All right, I agree with you, Adi. Absolutely. Yes. And that's the way we have to think. Ladies and gentlemen, very important, right? Because if you look at one and it says critical, come on, it's a no-brainer. Don't even ask me a question about it. We know that's going to be, it's critical for a reason. This we got to fix now, or else it's going to alter our business, or regulators will come after, or it's life-threatening. Whatever it is, it's critical. It's like, yeah, it's emergency, life-saving. So it's critical, right? So naturally, we got to fix that first. Then look at the level of difficulty. Sorry, sadly, it's high. So yeah, I like that. Somebody say, Adioba, yes, risk-based approach. I agree. That should be the model. So we have to use risk-based approach, definitely. But critical, it's a no-brainer. We fix that immediately. Then what I'm looking for mostly, and I'm just saying from angle of quick win, psychologically, many times if you can win quick, then mostly people, it encourages you to win more. So I'm looking for which one is high, but level of difficulty to implement it or execute is low. Then I quickly win. I can tell my board, high risk, we fixed it. High risk, we fixed it. So in my mind, that's what I'm looking for right now, right? So let's say high, medium. Okay, there's nothing high, low. Okay, let's see. Okay, somebody said data minimization. Let's see. Let's go to data minimization. Let me see what that looks like. All right. Okay, I like what they did here. They also said next step. Let me see your next step. I like that actually. That's a good thing. Okay, this is good. Assign owners, periodic monitoring. You know what? That's a good thing to add actually. This is good. Next step is a good thing because it shows what you are proposing your leadership. Yes, you've recommended some things, but you're telling them next step. Distribute to the stakeholders so people know what to do, then they can make decision, assign owners. All the issue we found, let somebody be responsible to go figure it out and fix it. So that's really good. Periodic monitoring is an oversight we'll keep doing. So that's good. Okay, thank you so much, Krishna. Very well done, folks. Thank you so much. All right,
Thank
let's
you.
take. Thank you, sir. All right, let's jump to. I'm gonna reserve Teddy, my brother, for last. Let's go, Vows. Go ahead, Vows.
Okay. Let me know if you see my screen.
Yeah, we see it.
All right. So speaking for room 7, our executive summary. This is the summary of findings.
Yeah.
And here we have a summary statement that is simply summarizing what is in that table.
Yeah.
Then the mitigation plans right
Okay.
here.
Let's pause there,
Yeah.
sir. Let's pause there. Thank you, sir. Let's pause 1 second. So if I'm asking you, brother, which one would be your top 2 to focus on?
All right. So to talk on the top 2, I would
Yeah.
just want to show you how we did it, and then how
Okay.
we showed the management the top 2. If you come to
Okay.
our conclusion and recommendation, we
Yeah.
said the DPIA result indicated that the organization has established a foundational data privacy practice. However, improvements are necessary to elevate the program to advanced maturity level. Immediate focus should be placed on addressing high-risk areas such as, so these are the top 2 you are talking about, consent
Got it.
management and third-party
Love it.
data sharing, and then
Okay.
embedding privacy by design principles into processes.
Love
We
it.
are now recommending to prioritize short-term actions such as implementing a consent management system and automating breach detection while planning mid-term and long-term initiatives to strengthen the overall privacy
Awesome.
framework.
Awesome. Okay, you guys are, I love it. You guys are proactive. Love it. Okay, I like it. This is, yeah, I'm satisfied with that. That is good because you thought through it and you already made recommendation in terms of what to do immediately. So that's good. Thank you very much, Bows. Very well done, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right. Okay, let's take Mark. Then the final person would be Mr. Ted. Let's take Mark. Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, sorry, now. First came out a little different because Chat GPT didn't let us download a Word document for some reason. So I had to copy and paste it from the actual Chat GPT.
Oh, sorry, Mark. I think your voice is a bit blurry.
Oh, so can you hear me better now?
Please just go ahead. Maybe it's on my side. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Mark.
Can you hear me now?
Sure.
Yes, sir. So this is pretty much it. First, executive summary came in. The overall score is 3.8. Its summary included constraints and opportunities. Content of the score that we gave each priority. This is for the mitigation and action pipeline. For some reason, since I had to communicate to the
Okay. I know your voice is not clear, Mark, but let me help out, folks. I can see they use like a SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity, threats. So they kind of captured it. Then I can see mitigation and action plan here that they put together. If I'm looking at this, I'm saying medium, medium. I'm saying, yeah, the voice is muffled, but let's make the best out of it. So we have high, medium here, risk high, medium. So, I think we get the gist. So if I'm to look at this, I'm saying in my head, I believe, go back up a little bit. Okay, data retention and deletion, I can see it's high risk. Implementation is medium. Let me see your conclusion. Go down to the conclusion, please.
One thing that confusing to me.
Okay, you didn't put the conclusion. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, but at least we get the gist, folks. At the end of the day, it's a risk-based approach, right? Like the one I'm seeing now, II. There was one I saw, II. Go back up there. I saw II somewhere. Okay, pause. Privacy training and awareness. So it's high risk, high level of implementation. Now, I can negotiate this one and say the reason it's high level of implementation is probably we are thinking of the enterprise to conduct training end to end to everybody. Fine, that's true. However, since we are using risk-based, I can start with training focused on super users or administrative users or top leadership because they are higher risk. So in that kind of environment, we just break it down. But that's an easy win. I can say, look, I'm not looking at enterprise, the whole company at once. I'm starting with the highest risk, people that are in leadership that can be exploited more. So somebody said Mark is using AI voice, but Mark, we got the gist. Thank you so much. Very well done. And thank you, sir. All right, let's move to Teddy in the house. All right, Mr. Teddy, your show.
Can you guys hear me?
A little bit low voice, Teddy.
Hello? Is it better?
Yeah, better now.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Mark. Sorry, Mark was sick and his AI voice had to come in to support him.
Let me go ahead and share my screen.
All right. Yeah, somebody asked, people should be asking questions. Yeah, not this time because we have limited time. I don't want to keep you all till past the normal time, okay? Well, join our upcoming programs. This is just, there's so much, guys. Yeah, there's so much you can do, and the beautiful thing is, take it to the bank. These are the kind of things you'll be doing in real life. This is it. These are your day-to-day tasks. These are the things you'll be working on. But once study is done now, I'll make us quickly develop something and we'll be wrapping up real quick, okay? Um, oh, did I lose study?
No, I'm trying to share my
Okay.
screen.
All right. Okay.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah. Okay. Now we see it. I see the pretty map already. Okay.
So for us, what we actually did to guide us was to bring out the CMMI model from online, and we use that to justify each of them, right? Going through that model, we largely gave 3 for everything. The only one we did give 4 for was the data security measure. And if you can see from our graph, only one has that 4.
Yep.
Okay. So we have the strengths, the areas for improvement, and we have the mitigation and action plan as well in each for each
Love
of
it.
those.
Can we stay on this mitigation? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask. Okay. I'm sure Ted will give me that already. If you were to choose your top, definitely, which one would be your top one? Yeah.
The critical one.
Okay. Naturally. Okay. So
Yeah.
we all can agree the critical one. Then now you have a couple of high, medium. This is where we think from a risk based and resource based, right? Then I
Yeah.
have to think and say, okay, which one do I have the budget at the moment to do? They might be equally high and medium, but sometimes they are constrained with budget. Sometimes I have resources from other department I can leverage to fix
Mhm.
my issue. So those are the things. It will be internal to your organization. What makes the immediate sense? You can't really make that call until you understand the environment itself. Okay.
Yeah. The execution priority comes into play as well. You can see some of them we have to do it within 1 to 3 months, right? The
True.
first
True.
one and the third one, they are the same, but this one says 3 to 6 months, meaning
Yeah.
we have to take care of this one first.
Yeah. Okay. Fair point. Yeah, that's a fair point. Yep. I know, but this is the real deal, folks. This is the way you have to think through it. This is what your leadership will ask you to give them recommendation. What's your thought? It's not enough to tell me you have problem. That's useless information to me. As a matter of fact, I know I have problems. That's why I brought you, right? So the value is okay, you got this problem. These are ways, recommendation on how we fix it. And by the way, this is the timeline. This is the priority. You've kind of done my job for me, the draft of my job. Now I can now start deciding and say, based on what this guy said, this guy doesn't know I don't have money on this, budget for this kind of work. Then you at least you've helped them to start thinking critically on the different areas within the organization. So, which is great. Thank you so much, brother Teddy. You're awesome, man. That's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
brother there, over
Yeah,
15
the
years. Thank you, brother.
conclusion and your
Yeah.
recommendations. Okay.
Okay. That is great. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right. So the final thing we just touched, ladies and gentlemen, we are mindful of
Uh,
time, 30 minutes. I want to make sure we hit it.
Quickly, one
So
quick question.
yeah,
How
please
do
go
we
ahead.
share this for everybody in the group? Because we
In the
can't.
group. Okay. So what I'm going to say is for all the group leaders, once the class finish, I'll leave the group open for 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, I'll monitor it, then we can upload anything. It's
Okay.
a large group. I don't want to
Mm.
make people spam our group and, it's crazy. It's hard to, there's so many malicious actors. We are cyber. So I'll leave it for 10 minutes, upload all your stuff within 10 minutes. I'll let you know when I'm about to do it. I'll monitor it within that 10 minutes and, you know, you can upload it there at that point. Okay. So kindly remind me in case I forget. Okay. Now, thank you, brother. Ted. Thank you, sir. Okay, the other thing we're going to do, somebody asked a question about CompTIA, blah, blah, blah. Guys, for that one, let's finish on PIA, what we're doing today. I'll talk about that once we are done, okay? I want to make sure we don't miss anything I have here scheduled. Another thing I would challenge everybody, please follow us on YouTube. Go to Skillweed. Just type Skillweed on, and I'll show you guys how you can get access to a lot of our resources. There's so much resources out there to help you, to be successful as a professional. Leverage it, don't waste your time. Yes, you can go use ChatGPT to find stuff, but many times it's a lot of work to streamline what is relevant to you in this profession, to be honest with you. And it's sometimes a lot of pain because you're just making stuff up, and it becomes a little bit complex. So go to our free ebooks here, you know, if believe it or not, there are tons of stuff we've streamlined to make your life easy. Take advantage of it big time. Let me see, am I sharing the screen? Yeah, I think I am. So just come here and you'll see all of these books. We streamline it. Just make sure you use it. and I'll send it to the link real quick. We have 30 minutes. There's one more big thing we got to do, so that you guys, you get out of here, you feel you will know you have a resume to start your life here, really, on this topic for now. Then I'll tell you what I want us to do. Okay, it will be a few minutes, but fun stuff. Okay, let's quickly jump on this, and I'll put you in your groups. Two things we're going to do real quick. Um, okay, somebody asked about prompt for the, believe it or not, if you're using a premium version of ChatGPT, once you ask it to put it in Word format, it will extract it in Word format for you. It's very easy. You can ask it to even put it in PowerPoint. It will, you might clean it a little bit, but it will put it in that format for you also. So it's very easy, okay? So don't stress about that one at all. But let's talk about the one I want to quickly show us. Everybody on this call, please, I need a favor. I need us to check the group real quick, and I'll send it to this our chat here. Hopefully, it will be enough for us real quick. Please check the chat here. Okay, it allows me. I need us to build a resume real quick. I'm not saying apply for a job. Don't do that yet, okay? Come and take our GRC class. We can have one coming up in January 18th, a few months from now, a few weeks. But this is just to put you grounded, to understand what you did today, all right? Because I just focus on privacy impact assessment. If you got this, make sure you give me thumbs up, please, just to make sure you guys got it. I want us to quickly build a resume, and I'll show you what I'm going to build with this real quick, so you can at least have an idea of what I'm talking about. Let me show you guys real quick. Let me share my screen. But everybody should build one for fun, okay? Then if you want to, whatever you want to do later, that's fine. But get out of here and build a resume, please, everybody. So click on enter. You guys can see my screen here. It's focused on privacy impact assessment only. That's all I want you to focus on. All right. Because tonight, based on the skill and the knowledge you just got, I want to make sure you can talk intelligent and say you did a privacy impact assessment. That's all. That's all I want you to say. You can see here. Uh, that's it. We just keep it simple. That's it. Just privacy impact comprehensive risk assessment, third party risk assessment. I cannot, of course, we can always fine tune it, but the key thing is I can ask it to reward all to focus mainly on privacy impact assessment, something like that. Again, it's just for the purpose of this class alone, because I want to make sure at least I can easily say for the privacy impact assessment, we got that one covered. That's the goal. Okay. So you're going to build a resume strictly for PIA, nothing else. Okay. That's what I'm trying to do now. Okay. Let's see if this guy can give me what I need. All right. But this is good. I can see PIA, streamline third party risk. Okay. Optimize CPRM, blah, blah, blah. Now, once you finish this, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to do something else. Please. Okay, I sent the prompt already. Okay, let me send it to the WhatsApp group also. I think I did already. Check the WhatsApp group for the internship, data internship. It's also there. Please check it. It's also there. But let me show you guys again. Let me quickly share. Please, everybody should do this one. Very cool stuff. I'll put in your group to do it also in a bit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take it a step further. I want you to now copy this, just this professional summary that you have here. Okay. Then I need you to all go to a site called Notes Book LLM. Everybody, if you are not part of our community, you may not understand what we're doing here, but don't stress it, not a big deal. We'll just go to Notebook. Let me show you guys real quick. Let's see where I can quickly show you guys. Everybody go to notebookllm.google. Let me share my screen. Everybody should go to this site, notebookllm.google, real quick. And you can just come to log on with your Google account. Let me switch to my personal one here so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. Then click on create, everybody. The resume you just created now, ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor, paste it here. Then click on insert, everybody. I hope I'm sharing my screen. Let me double check to make sure I'm sharing. Okay. Then click on here, click on generate, everybody. It's going to generate a conversation with your resume. The goal is what we've done tonight also. I want you to put it in a way you can listen to yourself. Well, not to yourself, but to a podcast based on what you put on that resume. So going forward, ladies and gentlemen, all of us that have a resume, you must create and make it a podcast so that you can be in the gym, in the car, you are mastering your resume. That's what we're trying to do. And I would like you to do it tonight, okay? Tonight, we are focused on privacy. That's all, because that's all I did tonight, right? I'm not, for my folks that came, if you're in my GRC class, we have our way of doing it that's different. We do it for virtually everything we've learned. For tonight, just focus on privacy. Don't put anything else. Privacy impact assessment. That's all we did. We're going to focus on that. I want to make sure you can go through the exercise and also master it in your mind. Okay. If this makes sense to you, give me thumbs up. If it does not make sense, tell me it does not make sense. Let's talk again. If this makes sense, give me thumbs up real quick, everybody. All right. If it makes sense, okay, cool, cool, cool. For most of us, it makes sense. All right. Um, we shared it in WhatsApp. We also shared it here. Maybe you're not in the real group. Please, everybody, if you are not registered for the class officially, you will not have access to the learning management system and a lot of information there. So go and officially register if you did not formally register. Once you register, it will take you to the group. So if you are not in the group, it's probably because you did not formally register for the class. So just quickly do that, okay? Not a big deal. All right, so I'll put us back in our group for 10 minutes, and I want you to just work on your resume. Use the prompt I gave you and also copy that resume and put it into your audio notebook LLM or LM. I call it LLM. It's notebook LM, sorry. So, but let's listen to this once it generates. Hopefully, it's going to do it quick enough and we can listen to how this thing would transform my resume into something I can interact with. It's so brilliant. So let me show you guys. Let me just listen in real quick. You'll see it in a bit. So let me show you guys. Just listen in. Oh, let me reshare because I need to select voice here. 1 second. Share voice. So let's listen to this for at least for 1 minute.
All right, so for this deep dive, looks like we've got something pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a resume. And not just any resume.
Let me guess. CEO, Fortune 500 company.
Not quite, but close in a way. This one is all about the world of GRC.
GRC. Okay, you're going to have to spell that one out.
Governance, risk, and compliance. We're talking healthcare and finance specifically. High stakes stuff. This person, based on this resume at least, looks like a real pro.
I'm intrigued. Lay it on me. What makes this resume stand out?
Well, first, just look at the experience. 5 years, 2 different industries, healthcare and finance. Like I said, high stakes. You don't just stumble into those.
5 years in each or 5 years total?
5 years total, but balancing between those two, that's going to be a crash course in navigating some seriously complex regulations.
No kidding. We're talking IP pad, GDPR, SOX, the list goes on. Not for the faint of heart.
Exactly. And it's not just time served. Look at the skills they've listed. Privacy impact assessments, PIAs, third-party risk management, policy development. It's like they've built a whole arsenal for tackling GRC.
Okay, impressive skill set for sure, but anyone can list skills on a resume. What really gets me excited are the quantifiable achievements. Did they actually walk the walk?
That's what's really got me hooked. We're not just talking about participation. This person delivered
So,
results.
folks, you can see
30% reduction in risk exposure, they're claiming. A 40% reduction in
okay, guys, ladies and gentlemen, you can tell, man, this is great stuff, man. This is amazing. So, because at the end of the day, you can make your life easy. You can soak it in and make this meaningful. And we do that for our community now because it's so important. Yeah, we're not of delusion anything is automatic or guaranteed, but we know one thing. We're going to put all our best foot to make us successful at the minimum. And we can only increase our opportunity when we do that, right? So, so that's amazing. So let's do that together real quick as a group. I'll give us we'll just do it for 10 minutes. I'll bring us back for the last thing and we'll be out of here. So let's do that for 10 minutes as a group. I'll take you back to your group and let's have fun. See you guys in the next 10 minutes. Let's go. All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you all for taking the time. We try to respect time here. We'll be out of here in 7 minutes, guys and ladies. So a lot of you, excellent job. I saw I was in most of the rooms, sneaking in around there, and most of you, amazing job building your resume and playing around it. If you notice in the group, the WhatsApp group for most of us there, I shared a couple of groups. Top on the list. I always like my team to follow me on LinkedIn so we can always connect there. Most of the time, I try to catch up with us there on LinkedIn. So feel free to accept that and let's connect on LinkedIn. That's a big one. I also, added the YouTube page. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. Just like it and click notification. We have a segment called The Lions Den where we prepare folks for interview. Make sure you join that too. We have a lot of free resources that I also sent out there for skillweed.com resources. We have a project for people doing investment in land also. I added that. There's tons of resources there too you can use to leverage. Then we have a reading club. It's just a club to enlarge the mind, so join that too. Very amazing one. Then for those of us that have asked a lot about Security Plus, let me quickly run through it. In simple term, it's just one of those good entry point certification. The goal of the program, it starts this Saturday. The goal is simple. It's for 4 weeks. Immediately you go write the exam. That's it. So it's really to pass exam. All right. So if you want to know how to do work, that's where we do this stuff like assessment work, real life work, or we go to do work in our programs for the GRC January class. But this one is designed specifically to pass. That's the factor for success. We have mechanism to get us close to 90% plus success rate. That's what we are, the model is right now. Of course, you got to put the work too. So it's not shortcut, right? Work on the past questions we're going to teach you. So it's a teaching class so that you go write the exam. That's the goal. Okay, that's really the summary of it. The price is 145 for the program, and it covers 4 weeks, Saturday, Sunday, four from this Saturday. Thanksgiving will be off the weekend. Then we just continue and just go write the exam after the whole thing. And we just want you to pass. That's all. And for many of us, it's just an entry point to have bragging right to start applying for job. That's all. So, but that's a summary of it. For those of you that have asked me that question around Security Plus, and very easy, just go to the website. For some of us, you already know our community. One thing I'll just share with us, very important for everybody, always go to resources here for everyone. Just go to our free ebooks. We have books you can also buy if you want to. There are some good books out there on Amazon, Guide to ITGC, Third Party Risk, Risk Assessment. But the big ones, we have a lot of free ones. Just go grab them. A lot of great books out there. Make sure you just don't waste your time, really. This has summarized a lot of things. You don't waste time. So take advantage of it. Be in our mailing list also. That would help you a lot. Join the YouTube page. There's a segment. Some of you already know it. The Lions Den. Amazing. Join that big time. That is not even for debate. And for the upcoming program, these are the programs. We just finished our internship. Congratulations. Make sure you go take the quiz so that you can get your certification towards the end. Just go through it. It's a good flow for all of you. This is the CompTIA prep class here. So feel free to join it. And this is the one for January 18th. Believe it or not, this is our flagship program. We're excited about it. A lot of great content. Imagine what you did in data privacy assessment is going to be on steroid with all the other ones you're going to be doing in the next couple of during that program. It's very comprehensive. It's a lot of stuff, to be honest. Lot of work, really. A lot of fun work, but you would know your stuff. The beautiful thing, we are thankful. This year we've had about close to 70 of us in our community. Um, and the year is not ended. We are not of delusion, anything is automatic. We know we got to put work, we got to keep trying, we got to put our best. No easy way around it. But the beautiful thing is that you will be very successful when you get to the job because you will not struggle. A lot of things you'll be because we've overstretched you, to be honest. You will be fine. Somebody asked me the link to the quiz. Let me show you guys something real quick. When you log in, this is what you guys would have. everybody so that you can get the certificate. If not, if you don't do the quiz, we can't give you the certificate. But this is the class. Everything we cover today is here. Just go log in. If you've not registered, go log in. We even have a podcast there. We have this is the document we use in class. Everything is there, ladies and gentlemen. Just go take it, go through it. There's a Kahoot quiz optional. The assignment is here. This is the use case. This is the assignment you can submit. This is the workbook, the one you guys worked on. This is the place you can submit the assignment. And this is the one you need to do before we give you a certificate, the final quiz. And the good thing, you can try it many times. So don't worry, you know. I think you'll be fine first try. But worst case, you do it 2 times, you pass, then we can, you know, we'll give you a certificate afterwards. But yeah, that's really the gist of it. Hopefully this was impactful. So okay, somebody said the schedule for the CompTIA, it's Saturdays and Sundays, and I will share the schedule with us. Give me 1 second to just show you what that looks like actually. Um, let's see, just to kind of give you an idea of what that looks like. All right, let me share my screen so you can see what that looks like at the moment. So this is the schedule. You guys can see week one, that's this Saturday, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time. Sunday, uh, Thanksgiving is out of it. Sorry about this. I think I'm showing the wrong one. Sorry. Okay, yeah, this is the right one. Oh, sorry. Wrong one still. This has changed, but I'll send the updated one to the group so you guys can see it. It's just Saturday and Sunday only. There's no Wednesday, but Thanksgiving is gonna be out. So, but the Saturday will be 1 to 5. I believe Sunday is 1 to 5 also. But I'll double check that schedule specifically and share with us. So it's somewhere. I just it's not handy right now, but I'll forward it to the group so you see all the information about the schedule. Okay. Uh, okay. Somebody said, yeah, it's designed for exam. Somebody said, can we combine with Cyber Deep? If you're already in Cyber Deep, uh, it's possible, but it's going to be a lot of work. That's the reality of it. It's possible because that one is designed just to pass exam. That's really what you're doing. Because for most of us, we don't have this experience. We just want to pass exam so that you can have a bragging right of a certificate. That's all. Okay, that's all we got. Please follow us. Every one of the link. Make sure you follow us. Anything we do here, we take a lot of time to filter it to make us successful. All right, just to remind me, let me quickly open the group. We'll open the group for 10 minutes. If you guys have some things to post in your group and all that, please, all the leaders in those group, feel free to just go ahead and post it now if you don't mind. Please, just for the leaders, please go ahead and just post it right now. It's open to everybody to just post. So I'll wait for it. But thank you so much. It's a big privilege and honor. Hopefully we made your last 2, 3 hours worthwhile and enjoy your family time. God bless you. Join us in our programs. Keep showing up. We'll keep, one more thing, guys, ladies, I almost forgot. We have something coming up special. Hackathon. The hackathon is just a way, some of you have seen it out there. We just simulate. We are working with the vendors Empire. So they are going to create a competition where we do cybersecurity. We are doing threat hunting. It's amazing, folks. Be part of the hackathon. Make sure you join. Look out for that one. Probably it's going to be December first week, but look out for more information. It's going to be special. At the minimum, you learn some tricks around cyber using some technical tools out there, just fun stuff. So be part of it, okay? I look forward to it. And as always, impossible is nothing. Keep doing great things, folks, and enjoy our flagship program. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. You make it happen. Nothing we can do here as a community without you. So thank you, everybody, and enjoy the rest of the evening. God bless, and we'll talk soon. Enjoy the flagship program. Believe me, this was from generated with AI too. So have fun. Thank you.
Feel the drums pulsate in the heart of Africa. flame ignites, a rhythm so vibrant, it sets minds alight. Skillweed Academy, where leaders are born. Embrace the tempo, let your dreams take storm. Rise up, leaders, let the beat guide your way. Unlock your potential, seize the day. From the dance floor to the boardroom, let your light shine, shine. Skillweed Academy, it's your time. Feel the drums pulsating, the energy so strong. Join the movement, where dreams belong. From Lagos to Nairobi, hear the call. Skillweed Academy, break down the walls. Rise up, leaders, let the beat guide your way. Unlock your potential, seize the day. From the dance floor to the boardroom, let your light shine, shine. Skillweed Academy, it's your time. Oh, 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 Feel the drums pulsating, the energy so strong. Join the movement, where dreams belong. From Lagos to Nairobi, hear the call. Skillweed Academy, break down the walls.